These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so. With tears in my eyes, why you go? There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include Constable McDougal will be along with the court report. These stories plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
This is Megan of the War Amps Child Amputee Program. She lost her arm in a car accident. How would you feel if you had been the driver who hit her?
Let's all drive safe.
A message from the War Amps Drive Safe program.
The local detachment of the RCMP held a bicycle rodeo at the Seafreeze parking lot for children in preschool through grade 6 on Wednesday of this past week.
Good, you've done it. Give me your paper.
Despite the not-so-great weather on Wednesday morning, the RCMP, with the help of quite a few volunteers, put off a very successful bicycle rodeo for more than 50 children. The rodeo consisted of 6 different obstacle courses to be completed by all participants. Some were more difficult than others.
Got it? Young girl? Okay. You know what we gotta do? Okay. The other answer is?
Okay. And it's right. Over here, Jordan. Yeah. This one is right.
Okay, this one's time. Right, clear.
Following the rodeo, the participants were treated to hot dogs, Kool-Aid, and donuts.
Okay, just finish right now. She'll be on her. There,
Following the food, it was time for the awards.
I'm going to present the prize here, donated by Pro Hardware, to the overall winner of the bicycle rodeo. Had 150 points out of a possible 150, so they did a perfect ride all the way through, and that's Jason Warren. Congratulations. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing names for prizes. So the first prize is going to, I can still be lovely. First prize is this alarm horn put on your bicycle, and that's going to Gabrielle Pink. Oh, there you go. Yeah, bicycle pump. A few of yous need it, but Chelsea Anderson gets it. Where?
A total of 28 prizes were given out at the rodeo. Each participant also received a certificate showing that they took part, as well as a 125th anniversary tattoo from the RCMP.
This morning, June 24th, we held the Burgeo Bike Rodeo to help celebrate the 125th anniversary of the RCMP. A few people I'd like to thank, first of all, for helping us put the bike rodeo together: the Lions and Lioness Clubs, the Burgeo Help Committee, Ingram's Foodland, Midtown Grocery, Cottage Food Town, Variety Quick, Pro Hardware, and all the volunteers who came out this morning to help make it the success that it was. There were 53 individuals involved, ranging from age preschool right up to grade 6. Our overall winner, who had a perfect ride, 150 points out of a possible 150, was Jason Warren, and he won a bike helmet donated to the rodeo by Pro Hardware. So thanks to everyone involved, and hopefully we'll see you again next year.
The Sand and Sea Committee will be constructing a permanent stage at Sandbanks Park. Some people have been curious as to what the Sand and Sea Committee did with the money they raised through the Cabot 500 celebrations last year. Most of the money raised last summer was put to one side to construct a permanent stage at Sandbanks Park to be used for this summer's Come Home Year celebrations, as well as future festivals, Canada Day celebrations, and other functions at the park. This stage will be located in this area, beneath the hill. It will be facing the road and playground area. This new structure will replace the stage that has been constructed using blue tarps at previous festivals. Stay with us, there's more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
Meet Lindsay, a member of the War Amps Champ program for child amputees. From the day she was born, Champ has been there, with counseling and access to the very best in artificial limbs. Today, Champ is encouraging her to use a computer to keep up with her schoolwork. A computer makes writing possible and opens doors for her future. The War Amps. Thanks to your support, we are passing on our lifetime of experience to champs like Lindsay.
Although Scotiabank is still open to the public, the building is midway through major renovations. We stopped by the bank this past week to see how things are progressing. Chess, it's been a few weeks now since we came up just as work was getting started at the renovations here at Scotiabank. How are things progressing?
Very well, Dave. Quite pleased, actually. As you can see, they've got everything basically tore down that they're going to tear down now. They've started the siding, and there's quite a bit done inside. And what you see over here now, this is the forms to run the walkway. I should say probably a wheelchair ramp to the main entrance. The main entrance is going to be where you see the plastic up over here. This doorway here, that's coming out as soon as the main entrance doors arrive on scene.
Okay, so are things on schedule?
Basically, yes. They're probably running a week behind, and that's all to do with the windows. The windows should be here this Tuesday coming. What's happening there, they can't finish their siding until the new windows go in, and some of the gyprocking inside can't be done until the windows are in.
Okay, when we did the first interview, you said that you were hoping to have the bank moved upstairs and the ATM in before the come home year. Does that still look like it's a possibility?
Yes, it does. Well, probably right in the middle, Dave. We're hoping to be able to move up. We got a tentative date of August the 4th. Try to move up that weekend between, I say we're closed on Wednesday, August the 1st, for Burgeo Day, and hopefully the following day we'll be into the new premises.
Okay, I guess that's Monday, August 3rd is Burgeo Day.
Okay, yes, August the 3rd. All right, well, the following day, Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, so can we go inside and have a look at the progress that's been made in there?
Yeah, that's a good idea, because you get a better understanding than what they've been doing. A lot of the work, like the electrical and that type of thing, is all laid away. So there's been quite a bit of work on the go there, but let's take a look inside.
Jess, you have a blueprint of what the bank's going to look like when it's completed there on the wall. Do you want to give us a little run through, I guess, of what's going where?
Okay, Dave. First of all, picture this section here, this top section, as the main entrance. Here's the main entrance here. Here's your vestibule. You come in here, and you go to the teller, if that's what you wish, or you come into the ABM machine, use the ABM machine, or if you're looking for a loan or an investment of some type, you would come here, and our customer service rep would direct you to one of our personal banking officers, which are going to be located in these two offices right here. And during the closing hours, the ABM is still going to have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access. This perforated line here is a security wall that during the daytime is pushed into this enclosure here, this dark area right here, Dave. And then when we leave nighttime, we pull it out and it's locked in, so all of this area is accessible to the public. Now this particular room here is this is where the machine, the ABM machine itself, is located. You only see the face of it, of course, out in this area. So this is where the cash goes in and gets counted and that type of thing. And over here is our new vault. This new vault is coming in hopefully next week. It's going to be in 4 sections, and it gets put together type thing on site. And I think each section weighs approximately 3,000 pounds, so we got to get a forklift to bring it in. And so you come back here, this is a coupon booth. For example, if a customer wanted to get into their safety deposit box, they would come in the safety deposit box. If they want some privacy to review their contents, they could go into this little booth here and sit down in private. And this room here is the electrical room. There's a large panel going in here. Even though the main electrical room is downstairs in the furnace room, this electrical room here comes from a splitter downstairs, which would allow us, in the event that something goes wrong with the power, we can shut down the power from this room here, rather than have to find the key and probably shovel away a bit of snow down by the furnace room. We can access the power up here. And this room here is the telephone room, and it houses the computer controller along with our photocopier. Right here, in this particular section here, we've got a printer, and the staff member that does the processing of our loans and deposit instruments would work here. And there's a disc here is called the in-branch encoder. And what happens here is all the checks that are deposited by individuals and business customers gets encoded on the bottom before they go off to Halifax Data Center for further processing. The assistant manager of operation, Mary, this is her desk here. And we got a customer service rep that would sit here, and another customer service rep back here. Basically, when this one is not at this post, this particular staff member would take over here as well.
So is that a new position?
Yes, it is. Starting in September. Now, this would have happened whether or not we had renovations or not, all branches in Newfoundland. By the end of '98, it's going what we call front office orientation. It's a new structure. We've got personal banking officers rather than loan officers as we know them today. Like our loan officers will deal not only in loans, all type of loans, except for commercial. They'll deal in investment products as well, Dave.
Okay,
So their main objective is to sell. And like this individual here, for example, customer service rep, the main purpose of this particular individual is that when a customer comes in to see a personal banking officer, they may only want to know the balance of their Visa account. So you wouldn't go to a teller, or you wouldn't go see a personal banking officer. This customer service rep could easily take care of this for you, right? And like you may, from time to time, like I get customers come to me. I mean, I'm not saying this to discourage that. Maybe only want a $300 loan. If you still feel you want to see the manager, fine, I'm here for you. But this individual would basically get some idea what the customer is looking for, and she would determine if she can help them, or if they should go to the manager or the personal banking officer, that type of thing. Now, we're only going to have, under our new branch, 2 teller units. We're still going to have 3 tellers. But with the ABM, we feel a lot of the work now done by the tellers can be done at the ABM. On our busy periods, I was going to say Tags Day, but unfortunately, this is not going to last much longer. But hopefully, you get back to work. That on the busy periods, whether it be a Seniors Day, that type of thing, we'll still have 3 tellers plus more staff if need be operating from this particular area right here, Dave.
Okay, so these new positions, due to the restructuring, will that result in any more staff being hired here at the bank, or will that be just a juggling of the present staff?
No, actually, there's no more staff being hired. There's juggling of the existing staff type thing. The only way that we're going to get an increase in staff in Burgeo is if the economy picks up and the workload warrants an increase in staff. But right now, our existing staff is more than sufficient really to handle the workflow.
Okay, I noticed that I guess your working quarters downstairs right now are being cramped a bit more than usual.
To say the least, it's difficult to work in those type of surroundings, but we're looking at the end result, what it's going to be, and within another month and a week or so, it'll be all over and done with, and we'll forget about it ever happened.
Short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we all remember back to the day when we had the fire and had to go down to United All. and set up a makeshift operation. And I mean, it was pretty cramped in there. And so, I mean, we've got a good really compared to then. But the biggest problem is trying to work around the noise. I know my workload is starting to back up, but as long as I get it all straightened out before moose hunting time, I'm happy.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for giving us an update. We really look forward to coming up on the 2nd of August, or 4th of August, I guess it is, Tuesday, and seeing the finished product.
Okay, Dave, I appreciate seeing you then. Thank you very much.
Provincial Court was held here in Burgeo on Wednesday, June 17th. Constable McDougall is with us now with the court report.
Provincial Court was held again in Burgeo on June 17th. There was a total of 12 people who appeared to face a variety of criminal charges. A 17-year-old male appeared in relation to a charge of theft under, assault causing, breach of probation, and breach of undertaking. That matter was postponed to July 29th for sentencing. A 17-year-old male from Burgeo was sentenced in relation to a number of charges, which included illegal possession of alcohol, 4 breaches of probation, possession of a narcotic, and breach of undertaking, and a theft under $5,000. He was sentenced to 3 months in open custody and placed on probation for a period of 1 year following his release and ordered to do 30 hours of community service. A 15-year-old male from Burgeo was sentenced in relation to a breach of probation. He was given 2 months of 1 month open custody in relation to that charge and 2 months open custody in relation to possession of a narcotic. A 31-year-old male from Francois pled guilty to a breach of probation charge and was granted an absolute discharge. A 45-year-old male from Ramia pled guilty to 2 counts of assault. He was given a suspended sentence and placed on probation for a period of 18 months with a condition not to consume alcohol. A 17-year-old male from Burgeo pled guilty to 4 counts of damage to property and 1 count of assaulting a police officer, and he was sentenced to 3 days in jail in order to pay restitution in relation to the damages. A 79-year-old male from Burgeo waived his right to a preliminary hearing in relation to 2 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of assault, and that matter has been postponed to August the 5th for trial. A 17-year-old male from Burgeo pled guilty to 1 count of illegal possession of alcohol and 1 count of breach of probation, and that matter has been set over to July 29th for sentencing. A 16-year-old male from Burgeo pled guilty to 1 count of theft under $5,000 and 1 count of breach of probation, and that matter has been set over to July 29th for sentencing. A 14-year-old male from Burgeo pled guilty to 1 count of theft under $5,000 and 1 count of breach of probation. Was sentenced to 1 year of probation in order to do 25 hours of community service work. And a 26-year-old male from Burgeo pled not guilty to 1 count of fraud over $5,000 and 1 count of breach of probation, and that has been set to September the 16th for a trial here in Burgeo. Provincial Court will be held again in Burgeo on July the 29th at 10 a.m.
We now have Councillor Barter with us with an update from the last meeting of the Burgeo Town Council.
Good evening. The town of Burgeo held a regular town council meeting on June 17, 1998. The following business was discussed. Everything has been approved for this year's Capital Works program, which will consist of repaving of the remaining streets in the town. Once all of the engineering work is done, it will be sent to the Minister of Municipal Affairs for approval to call for tender. The feasibility study for the proposed school community complex shall be completed shortly. There is to be another meeting held on July 2nd. Burgeo is now registered under the Tidy Towns program, and in that regard, everyone is asked to do up their property and help keep the town as clean and tidy as possible. A letter will be written to Premier Tobin supporting the idea of requesting the federal government to have the Marine Atlantic Service declared as an essential service. Council is still debating the issue regarding the use of rollerblades on the town streets. There is a bylaw which prohibits the use of rollerblades on the town streets, but there is some concern being expressed regarding it. This will be brought up again at the next council meeting. With regard to the Fishermen's Seamen's Monument. The town has been approached by individuals who want to place a park bench in the monument area. It is a beautiful area and something the whole town can be proud of. It is believed that some planning should be put into anything else that is going to be put there. Hence, the town has decided that a design will be drawn up for any further development in this area. Thank you. Have a pleasant evening.
Late this week, I received a press release from the FFAW-CAW dated June 24, 1998. The press release reads as follows. The details of the federal government's recently announced Fisheries Adjustments Program will be under the magnifying glass next week when representatives of the FFAW-CAW meet with senior government officials. Union President Earl McCurdy said the union has made it clear to Ottawa that the program, as announced, is in serious need of repair. Mr. McCurdy and Union Secretary-Treasurer Reg Anstey have been involved in preliminary meetings this week with officials from Fred Mifflin's office and David Anderson's office, as well as the Prime Minister's office and the Department of Human Resources Development. Mr. McCurdy also discussed the matter by telephone with HRD Minister Pierre Pettigrew. Our message is very simple, Mr. McCurdy said. Now that all the overall budget has been announced, Ottawa should be open to input from representatives of those directly affected to make sure that the money is spent wisely. He said there is great potential for money to be wasted, and the union's priority is to make sure the program helps people in areas with the greatest need. Higher on our priority list is the situation of people whose tags have already run out, Mr. McCurdy said. One of the elements in place for these people is job creation projects. While this is not our preferred form of assistance, if that's what government is doing, it should be implemented properly and at reasonable rates of pay. Mr. McCurdy added that the union also wants to take a very close look at details of early retirement, license retirement, and cash-out elements of the program. The union will also be fighting on behalf of the people whose tag's duration was cut short by injury, illness, or pregnancy, to try to prevent double punishment for these people. Flexibility and common sense should be the order of the day, Mr. McCurdy concluded. This will be a real test of the seriousness and sincerity of the federal government. If they continue to insist on a made-in-Ottawa program, dissatisfaction with the program will spread and give rise to widespread protest. Detailed meetings are expected to begin early next week, and the union expects it will be 2 or 3 weeks before all elements of the program are finalized. But they can't wait that long to deal with the circumstances of people who are without income. Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
Hi, I'm Tammy. Tamara and I are champs, members of the WARAMP Child Amputee Program. I lost my leg when I was 2. I chased a ball onto the street and was hit by a car. Now I warn young children to play safe. Remember, spot the danger before you play.
Safety is no accident, so play safe.
A message from the WARAMPs.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of a song written for Burgio's first Come Home year. Here's a look back to June 1988.
On the southwest coast of Newfoundland, at a place that we all know, it's where we all will gather at good old Burgio. We'll meet old friends and kinfolk. For me, I just can't wait. It's Burgio's first come home year in 1988. They'll come home from the mainland, from places far and wide. They'll meet again at Burgio with hearts swelled up with pride. Remembering the good old times, we all will congregate at Burgio's first come home year in 1988. fun. Dancing, fishing, swimming, and other things you've done. So check it on your calendar right now and make a date to be at Burgio's come home year in 1988. There'll be something for everyone, good times for one and all. Scoffs, smug-ups, and square dances, you're sure to have a ball. You can stroll along on sandbanks when you want to take a break at Burgio's first come home year in 1988. You'll marvel at the changes that have happened in our town. The past is gone and done with, and new things all around. But one thing remains the same, folks are still first rate at Burgio's first come home year in 1988. So drive on down to Burgio, no more waiting for the boat. There's lots to see on your way down and many things to note. Welcome back to everyone, so please do not be late for Burgio's first come home year in 1988. It's Burgio's first come home year in 1988.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rhonda Green. The Museum Committee TV Bingo held on Wednesday was won by Joyce Green of Ayers Eel. Congratulations, Joyce. There is no TV bingo scheduled for this coming Wednesday. Burgio Recreation Commission has plans in place for this year's July 1st Canada Day celebrations at Sandbanks Provincial Park. Everyone is asked to meet at the Causeway at 2 p.m. for a parade to the park. Canada pins and flags will be given out at the Causeway. At the park, there will be games for the kids, free burgers, pop, and cake will be given away beginning at 4 p.m. And a bingo consisting of Share the Wealth bingos and a jackpot game will begin at 7 p.m. Music will be provided at the park all throughout the day by I&I Disco. And of course, there will be a fireworks display at 10:30 p.m. Come along for a fun-filled day and help us celebrate Canada's birthday. The official opening of the new museum will take place tomorrow, Monday at 2 p.m. Everyone is welcome. The complete barbecue outfit, which the fire department was selling tickets on, was won by Haida Vetcher. The fire department would like to thank the general public for their continued support in their fundraising efforts. They would especially like to thank Variety Quick Shop for donating the meat and Scott's Garage for donating the propane. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we would be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you in 2 weeks.
This Week in Review will not be airing next week because I'll be on vacation. Our next news program will air on Sunday, July 12th. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.